Hey, what's up, guys? This is Team Hard Life Captain Alberto Zertuche, and it is Thanksgiving. I am about to set up our turkey. It's an 18-pound butterball.
Gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta learn. I'ma call the whole team.
And I'm going to go ahead and cook it in the oven. So with this, what I like to do is I like to pull out everything. And there you go. I was just showing you how big it was. It was 18 pounds or whatever. Yeah, I like to do it old school style, the way my grandma taught my mom, and my mom pretty much showed us one year. And it was pretty trippy how it ended up happening that way. You know, they sent us to bed so that way they can have the kitchen to themselves. Well, back then when I was young, we had bunk beds, me and my brother. Well, that year, we went to sleep, and next thing I woke up, I was on the floor. I was up, and that's because I fell from the top bunk, and so, you know, I kind of went downstairs, and my mom was sitting there cutting up cilantro and stuff like that, so I asked her if I could help, and she let me, and I started paying attention to what she was doing. And obviously I was way too young to really understand what she was doing, but I knew, you know, I remember the basics kind of deal. And one of the things was, one of the additions I'm adding is a chupacabra seasoning. So right now I'm gonna start boiling my water so I can cook the turkey neck and the innards and stuff like that and go from there. Now that I'm setting that up, letting that boil, I'm going to go and, bringing it to a boil, should I say. Once it's all boiled up and cooked, then I'm going to be using the chicken neck or turkey neck and the innards to make my stuffing. It was something that I've seen them do, and then also, too, the broth that gets cooked up from doing this, I'm going to use that as the stuffing water. Instead of putting water, I'll put this broth in there, and definitely gives it a lot more flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up and cutting up everything else that I need for my stuffing. Also too, I'm excited because we've got our electric oven or installed, should I say, and right now I'm setting it up so that way I can start bringing it to temperature and get all that ready to go. Once I got that set, I can go back and finish doing my stuffing and everything else. I know that my wife likes to also cook other things while we're doing the turkey, so I need to make sure I have room for all of that, and so I'm going to reconfigure the brackets there so that way the turkey's on one level and she can still cook on another level or whatever as we're going through it. But that'll be like in the last, 30-45 minutes of me doing the turkey. Alright, so I've got everything sliced up that I needed to get sliced up for vegetable wise. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and pull the broth from cooking the turkey neck and the heart and the other goodies that come from inside the turkey that are shipped with it. And I'm going to go and chop them up so that way I can add them to my stuffing. This is something that my great grandparents have done and passed it on to my grandparents, to my mom, and I'm continuing on the tradition of doing this. I've been doing this stuffing like this for the last several years, whenever given the chance that they want me to cook the turkey and stuff. So it's awesome. It gives it a lot of texture and stuff like that. And then once I get done with doing what I need to do, it's working it like this, old school. Alright, now that I've got everything prepared for my stuffing, I'm going to go ahead and start boiling my water there, and I'm adding the butter that is required for me to make the 3 boxes of stuffing. And this should be just the right amount for me to stuff the turkey. And I like to cook my stuffing inside the turkey as I'm cooking the turkey, because it just makes it so, oh man, it sets the flavor off. And then too, you got to remember, this is the broth that it was from cooking those parts of the turkey. And also too, it still had the chupacabra seasoning, so I'm also adding all of that mixed in. And once it gets to boiling, then I'm going to go and add in my celery, my pickles, my green olives and stuff, and boil that for a little bit too, so that can get some of the flavor going. And then once it's back to a boiling, then I'll go ahead and start adding my stuffing. So there goes all the turkey parts, the celery, the green olives, and yes, pickles and more of the celery that was left over. Man, that big cutting board comes in handy, that's for sure. So as I was sitting there looking at the pot, I was like, man, that's not going to be big enough for the 3 boxes of stuffing, so I'm going to go and bring in a reimbursement for my next pot in size, so that way I can get all this stirred up and given plenty of room for it to cook as the way I need it to cook. And then also too, this one has a better glass top, so that way when I kill the heat and let it do its thing after it's all mixed up, and most definitely works a lot better in this fashion. Alright, now it's time to stuff the turkey. Yep, I'm going to go and load it up from the back end first, because that's where most of the seasoning will go into. And then I still do it the old school way too, of me actually stitching up the opening, so that way the stuffing does not come out while it's in the cooking process. And yes, I am using a thread and needle for this. So splicing at the shop's not the only time I throw in some stitches, and this is probably why I'm decent at stitching myself up, because I've had a little bit of practice. You know, like I said, I've been doing this for a few years, once or twice.
Hi, Grandpa.
What the? Are you serious? All I did was put it to cook. There's nothing in there.
What the fuck just happened?
I don't know.
Because I thought about wearing the green one and putting on my green jeans, but...
It stinks.
Oh, it's because it's new?
No, it sounded like a fuse popped.
Oh, fuck.
What just burned out?
Open the front door, bitch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kiki, go wash the pot.
Well, lucky for us, we still had our old gas stove there. We went ahead and drug it inside and got it hooked up. And I'm gonna go ahead and get it started, because like I said, I'm still trying to make it a decent time to sit down and have the turkey. So I was able to save the day with it, got it going. This is the turkey coming out of the bag, and y'all get first glimpse of how it looks. I did let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes before I decided to open it up, because otherwise all that steam would have been really hard to do this. But also too, it would have made it real dry, you know, if I had done the turkey that quickly out of the oven instead of letting it sit. So definitely looks gorgeous. Look at all that meat, so tender and juicy and just falling right off the bone. It was awesome. Look at that. I was able to get it all out without any of the ligaments or whatever. And what I'm going to do is put the brown meat on one side, white meat on the other. I particularly like the brown meat, guys. That's just me. I think it's just juicier and stuff like that, but also it depends on which way you cook it. I know some guys put the turkey breast down in order to get it to be real tender or in that fashion, but this year I actually went ahead and did a I injected it with some butter and stuff like that. It's type of Zatarain's mix right there. And now I'm pulling out all the stuffing. Oh man, talk about beautiful. Look at all that. It's so awesome.